Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the AzF Stv6 channel. This is the place for all of you to find information about anime, manga, and others. So, make sure you watch until the end of the video. Oh yes, don't forget to press the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our latest videos. Your support means a lot to us, and of course, it's free. Let's get started.
A large ship with a skull on top of it. The skull moves and sings. All the crew are shocked. However, only Usop, Nami, and Chopper were very scared. There, Luffy actually wanted to approach the ship. Eventually, Zoro decided to draw lots for those who would accompany Luffy, and Nami and Sanji were selected. Upon arrival, they were greeted warmly by the skull. Sanji also bombarded the skull with questions. But unlike Luffy, he immediately invited the skull to join his crew. Without further ado, the skeleton was brought to Sango, surprising everyone on the ship. Moreover, he had already joined the crew while the others still thought it was a joke. Until mealtime arrived, the skeleton introduced himself and said his name was Brook. Previously, he was a pirate until, in a certain body of water, all his pirate crew members died, including himself. However, because he had previously eaten the yomi fruit, his soul returned and searched for his body. But since the waters were foggy, his soul spent a long time trying to find his body. By the time his soul found his body, it had already turned into a skeleton. Everyone there was astonished because this skeleton had an afro. Even after Nami showed him a mirror, Brook couldn't see his reflection in it. In fact, there isn't even a shadow of it. Brook also explained that several years ago, his shadow was taken by someone. Therefore, he does not appear in mirrors and cannot live under the sun. Because if Brook is under the sun, his body will be destroyed. He is also happy to be able to meet humans after such a long time. Even Luffy also invites him to join his crew. Although very happy, Brook refused. Because he had been protected from the sun while in this ocean. However, if he joined Luffy, Brook was afraid that he would only be a burden to Luffy since he couldn't leave the ocean, including being exposed to sunlight. With great pleasure, Luffy offered to retrieve his shadow. However, Brook forbade it and distracted him by singing. Before he could start singing, Brook was shocked to see a ghost on Sango and there was also a tremor. In a hurry, Brook looked outside and it turned out that they were in the area of the haunted island, Thriller Bark. Brook asked Luffy for clarification if they had tied up the barrel that was floating in the water. If so, it meant they had been marked for a while. After realizing that they were on Thriller Bark, Brook said goodbye and went down to the island. Before that, Brook also suggested not to stop at the island. Brook then jumped in and surprised everyone by being able to run on water. Then, Robin assumed that they were inside the gate of the island. Because earlier, they passed through the mouth gate that is now closed. Nami and Chopper were very frightened. But it was different for Luffy, he was very excited and even wanted to catch a ghost as a pet. As they are sure to descend, Frankie introduced the Sango feature. Sango has a soldier dock system or ship defense system. Their ship defense system has 6 components, and each has its own purpose. Nami, Usop, and Chopper were finally taken to the docking room and tried out the second dock channel, which was a shopping ship called the Minameri. At that moment, Nami, Chopper, and Usop were enthusiastic to board it. Frankie received praise from all the crew, and he even introduced other docks. Channel 0 is the extra pedal, Channel 1 is the wafer, Channel 3 is the shock submarine, and Channel 2 is the mini Mary. Then, Nami's story can be heard, and they cannot see anything due to the fog. Even on the merry-go itself, there are several strange incidents that happen to the crew. Starting from Robin, who heard the roar of a wild animal, and Sanji, who was tossed and turned, and many more. Until their ship was carried by a mysterious current near the island. Meanwhile, Nami, Usop, and Chopper fell into a trench filled with human bones. They thought Luffy would find them if they went up. However, out of the darkness appeared a Cerberus and chased them. When they reached the top, they were startled by a bat named Hilden. Hilden offered the three of them a ride in his horse-drawn carriage and headed toward Drive Hogback's large castle. Finally, Nami, Usop, and Chopper rode in Hilden's carriage. There, they were also informed that the large castle was the most visible and safe place. Especially Chopper, he looked very enthusiastic because he was going to meet Dr. Hogback, because he is the most genius surgeon in the world. However, after walking for some time, they saw unusual things that made them hesitant to head towards the castle. When they asked to go back, it turned out that Hilden left them in the middle of a zombie graveyard. They ended up fighting zombies to reach the large castle that was said to be the safest place. On the ship, Luffy and the others were carried by the current towards the island and trapped in a giant spider web. Back to Nami and the others, they arrived at a large castle and were greeted by a woman. The woman threw a plate at Usop. But shortly after, a man named Drive Hogback arrived. He welcomed them warmly. Usop also asked how he could live in a place surrounded by zombies. At that moment, Drive Hogback explained that he was researching zombies and ways to resurrect someone who had already died. The research was greatly supported by Chopper, who is a huge fan of Hogback. After that, Usop also asked if Dr. Hogback had met Avro's skeleton before, as he had seen him descend earlier. It seems that Dr. Hogback had a negative incident with Brook, and he immediately responded that he didn't know the skeleton creature Usop was referring to. After sharing many stories with Dr. Hogback, Nami asked Usop and Chopper to accompany her while she took a bath. There, she felt something strange about the castle and the island. How could Hogback act so casually when the contents of the island were so peculiar? Therefore, Nami assumed Hogback was also strange. She decided to leave the island when night fell. It turned out that their conversation was overheard by someone. He immediately seized Nami, who was soaking in the bath. Furthermore, he asked Nami to be his bride because Nami was his type. Hearing that Nami was in danger, Usop and Chopper rushed in, but the person hurriedly left. On the other hand, Luffy and the others began their journey, which started with encountering Cerberus. Instead of being afraid, Luffy bullied and defeated the creature. Along the way, he saw something strange and invited it to become his crew member. Meanwhile, Hogback is seen talking to someone named Absalom. It is suspected that he is the one who ambushed Nami earlier. There, they discuss the Mugiwara crew and their high bounties. Hogback also asked Absalom to capture them as soon as possible. On the other hand, Nami is suspicious that there are zombies around her. However, Usop and Chopper are still trying to rationalize all the events. Until they reached the living room, Hilden appeared again. He wanted to escort them, as guests of Dr. Hogback, to their rooms. However, they didn't want Hilden to be taken away by the paintings and several wall decorations there. Seeing that, Nami and the others were very frightened. They also tried to get out of the castle. However, the front door would not open. Because the door couldn't open, Nami and the others were cornered at a fireplace. Soon after, the fireplace moved and revealed a secret passageway. The zombies tried to catch up with them. Because that road is the way to Dr. Hogback's laboratory. However, without pursuit, it turned out that there were also zombie portraits in the corridor. When they entered a room to hide, they were surprised by the numerous photos of Hogback's servant, Sindri. Nami also read the biography of Sindri. It was written there that Sindri was an actress and had passed away 10 years ago. Upon hearing this, Usop and Chopper realized that the island was truly surrounded by real zombies. They fled the room as they accidentally opened a box containing zombies, and wherever they went, there were always zombies. In the same corridor, there was also a swordsman zombie who was a guard there. It was seen that he muttered strangely and made sounds like, "Brook." Thank you for watching this video until the end. If you like the content, don't forget to click the like button, share it with your friends, and write your thoughts in the comments section. I'd really love to hear what you think. And of course, for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, just click the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the exciting upcoming videos. Remember, your support makes this channel more enthusiastic about creating content. Thank you.